Hi, I'm Steve Allen. I'm the head of the NTU Graduate School. In this presentation, I'm going to outline the content of the February Graduate School Forum meeting, and I'll invite you to contact me with any comments or feedback that you might have. Here's the agenda from the meeting. Following the December meeting of the Graduate School Forum, there were a number of actions for me to follow up. Item 5. Students asked that the library consider graduate students and their different backgrounds when designing course content. This was passed to the library for their consideration. Item 6. The graduate school and the library were asked to clearly communicate to students in advance about activities taking place at the various campus locations, including Brackenhurst. This has been passed on to action by these teams. Item 7. Students requested that more networking opportunities be offered to them. This has now been done, and the graduate school has introduced a series of monthly networking events. This programme of activity will be reviewed at the end of the academic year, and we invite feedback from students around possible future activities. Item 8. The head of the graduate school was to prepare a proposal to streamline the monitoring processes for PhD students. This is now complete, and changes to monitoring will be implemented in the next academic year, and I'll brief you all about the changes in due course. Sharon Potter from the library gave us a brief update of library activity. First of all, the library research rooms, the doctoral research rooms in the Boots Library, have been relocated to level 3. These are accessible by postgraduate research students only using their swipe cards, and a printer will be placed outside of the room. The previous limit of 50 interlibrary loans per academic year has now been removed. Item 3. All research students should now register for an ORCID ID to allow themselves and their work to be differentiated from that of other researchers. This ID will stay with you throughout your research career, and it's very easy to get yourself an ORCID ID. The link is provided at the bottom of this slide. I then gave an update on estate matters. In February, I delivered a paper to the NTU Academic Board which summarised the current state of workspace provision for research students and made several recommendations which were accepted. These were: 1. That we should provide some workspace within all home academic schools for doctoral research students. A priority was to identify space in the Newton building for NBS students and in the Mary Ann Evans building at Clifton for arts and humanities students, and now working with estates to pursue this for students to occupy new rooms by October 2016, but this will take a little bit of time. Academic Board also accepted that appropriate high-quality teaching space must be made available for professional doctorate taught workshops, and that we would use utilisation data to inform students of quieter times in shared areas, for example in CHOSA. Finally, students were informed that works were being carried out to remodel the shared space used by postgraduate research students in the CHOSA building in the city over the Easter period. This has been done to create additional workspaces and to provide lockers for students. The plan for the new CHOSA facility is shown on the next slide. To update you on the Research and Development Programme, I can tell you that NVivo courses have been held throughout the year. Initially, to clear the backlog of students that required this training, but thereafter these courses will be provided on an annual basis. SPSS courses would also be run twice per academic year. The Graduate School has now arranged a number of networking events throughout the year, and will continue to arrange these on an annual basis. I'm keen to hear from students about what other types of events they would like to see and to attend, so please do contact me with your suggestions. We also now have a YouTube channel, Facebook and Twitter feeds, and have launched a Termly e-news. Please let me know if there's something that you'd like us to feature about your own work. I'm also leading a university project board that has been tasked with reviewing the activities of the graduate school. I've now compiled a panel of individuals from across the university to work with me as a project team, and those people are listed here. We're assisted in our work by an external advisor, Professor Rosemary Deem, who is Chair of the UK Council for Graduate Education. As part of our work and to inform future projects and developments, this group has worked to identify what it believes the ideal postgraduate student would look like. So what skills and experiences should they have had by the time they leave NTU? This slide shows the ideas from that group. If you've got anything further to add, please email me. There are 7 key themes of activity for the project board to address in the future, and all areas of work should be mindful that we serve a diverse student community. I'll provide updates on the work of these themes in due course. At this point, the forum then discussed items raised by students and their representatives. The Arts and Humanities students raised issues around the availability of teaching opportunities within their home school. This has been escalated to the postgraduate research tutor for the school, Professor Jill Allwood, and then onwards to the school dean, and a response has been sent to the student that raised the query. To summarise, all teaching or HPL opportunities are advertised through a HR approved process, and the school will work on making sure that these opportunities are communicated effectively to all students in future. Students from social sciences raised the issue of slow computers in the CHOSA area, and I'll escalate this to IS and get feedback on what can be done about this. In terms of interim reporting, not all students and supervisors were aware that supervisor student meeting records should be kept and then submitted at various monitoring points. I referred the students to their MPhil PhD student handbook on page 14, which clearly states the need for this activity to take place. I'll communicate this requirement to staff and students. The final slide of this presentation shows the details from page 14 of that handbook. In terms of project approval documents, students felt that often extra documentation was required by CRDCs for project approval, and requested that CRDCs should specifically identify and communicate local requirements for any extra documents to the students. I'll communicate this back to the chairs of the CRDCs for their action. Some students raised issues around referencing requirements at the Bliss CRDC. Currently, the accepted format is the Harvard system. However, in some subjects there may be an alternative in-house style. And can the CRDC accept the subject level style rather than insisting on a change that may not match what students are used to writing with? I'll raise this with the Bliss CRDC chair. A reminder to all postgraduate students that the Shut Up and Write group operates out of the CHOSA Cafe area. Updates are provided through social media by Alison Hardy in advance of these events, and students are encouraged to look up this activity and participate. Finally, here's the extract from the MPhil PhD handbook around supervision records. There are many good reasons for keeping records of meetings. These are listed towards the bottom of this slide, so it's easy sometimes to forget important details of the meeting, so an agreed set of minutes can help this process and provide a focus for your future work. It helps the supervision team monitor the process of joint supervision, so in other words, if you have more than one supervisor involved regularly in your work, especially if the whole team is not meeting the student regularly. And should the supervisory team have to change for a number of reasons, the record keeping will help to update new team members on the progress made to date. In the case of a serious complaint or dispute during the studentship, an agreed record of meetings will support the student and the supervisor during that procedure. You can find the approved form for recording staff-student meetings at the Graduate School Learning Room on Now. And finally, if you've got any further comments on this presentation or any other issues you'd like to raise, please email me at the following email address. Thanks for taking the time to view this video. We hope that you'll find time to attend future Graduate School Forum meetings. And please also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And any other issues you can email us at the Graduate School at the address shown at the bottom of this slide. Thanks for your attention.